there on The Apprentice that he rebranded himself for a new generation of Americans. But was this new reality star really all he seemed? After months of tracking down and gradually gaining the trust of Trump's previously unknown reality coach, we were fortunate enough to speak with him under the condition of anonymity.
My name is Goodstein. I was the reality coach for The Apprentice, starring Donald John Trump. And I guess it's safe to say I've been one of the top 2 or 3 go-to reality coaches ever since season 2 of Real World Los Angeles.
And for people who might not be familiar, can you tell us a little bit about what it is a reality coach does?
Sure. The job, or really the craft of reality coaching, is to take just a regular, boring old person and to divine and build for him or her a dynamic, engaging, magnetic reality character, or what we in reality call a realtor.
A realtor.
Mm-hmm. So it's not, a film character where you're just pretending. The whole idea is that you become your realtor.
I see.
And there's, as you can probably imagine, there's a very fine line between person and realtor, and things can get pretty murky, but that's all part of the magic of the art form.
Okay, so then how did you come to be a reality coach for Donald Trump?
Well, so I got a call from Network. The producers of The Apprentice came to my office and they said, we're going to make the show about the greatest businessman in the world.
Greatest. Mm-hmm.
And we have Donald Trump. And I said, oh, great. And they said, well, but here's what's maybe not so great. He's had a string of failures. He managed to lose $1 billion in a year. It's just torpedoing companies like it's going out of style. He lost his mojo. He did not at all believe that he was a great businessman because life had proven otherwise.
Sounds a bit tragic.
Yeah, and so if you don't believe it, the camera won't believe it.
Right.
So then it's my job to not only conjure up that winning realtor, but to make sure that first and foremost, the realtor's host believes it. I always say that doing reality is living pretend for real.
Living pretend for real.
So the question was then, how do we take this absolutely colossal failure of a businessman and get him to live pretend for real as a great businessman?
So what did you do?
Well, so I had him come up to, I had him come up to my compound in La Cañada, which is up in the San Gabriel foothills. Beautiful views, and he came up on a Sunday morning. I had prepared this intimate little alfresco brunch for the two of us, and I had the table set with my famous coconut macaroons and fresh persimmon marmalade that I make, scones, and my homemade clotted cream.
Clotted cream.
And I was out there with my Neapolitan Mastiffs, Bogey and Bacall, who have since passed on.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. And my manservant, Hendrik, led Donnie out to the veranda. And Bacall wagged her tail and came up to say hello. And Donnie just shrank back, like recoiled, just petrified.
Goodness, for a large dog.
Well, yeah, she's very, very, very large dog. But still, Donnie's a man. And he just looks so pathetic and forlorn.
Life had really knocked the wind out of his sails.
Yeah. But so anyway, we sat down, we got to talking, and so I said, so, it sounds like you got this great show for yourself. And he said, I don't know if it's really for me. I feel like maybe they should get a real businessman, like a Steve Jobs or a Warren Buffett, ironically enough.
That is ironic. Was there one failure in particular that ate at him? Was there a specific business endeavor?
The casino.
The casino.
The casino haunted him. I think the fact that he asked me point blank, what kind of businessman loses money running a casino? And I just shrugged and laughed because
fair point.
Yeah, and so I remember I took a scone and I put some of the clotted cream on it. And Hendrik, who's a lovely man, but more and more just a terrible manservant, thanks to old age and some pretty inconvenient health setbacks.
Yes.
I told him maybe 1,000 times not to leave the clotted cream out.
Oh.
And, of course, he'd left it out the day before, and it had turned. And so I took this clotted cream, I put it on a scone, tasted it, sour, and I lost it. So I shouted, "Hendrik, get out here." And he came just sort of limping out. And I stood up, and I looked at him, and I said, "Hendrik, you're fired."
There it is.
And he started to cry, but Donnie, I just, this light went on in his eyes, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he said, "You're fired."
Wow, into the ether.
And yeah, and so he just kept saying it over and over. You're fired. You're fired. And Hendrik just kept crying, but Donnie loved it. There was just something about the phrase. That was it. That was the foundation of his realtor. And so from there, I said to him, "Okay, you can say you're fired to anyone, because you are the greatest businessman in the world."
And that did it.
Yes. But in order to ensure that it would stay with him and that he would fully incorporate that realiter verbal impulse, we engage in a little bit of hypnosis, which is a technique I like to use from time to time. I'm a licensed hypnotherapist.
Oh.
And I hypnotized Donnie and told him, "You've never failed before. People adore you. And the more that people give you attention, the more you will become Donald J. Trump, king of business." So that was implanted in his subconscious.
And it worked.
And yeah, of course, except Donnie, the person, can't shake Donald Trump, the realtor.
Powerful.
And the more people give him attention and cheer for him and tune in, the harder it then becomes for him to break that spell.
And this whole campaign has been about people giving him attention and lavishing praise upon him like never before, probably.
Yeah, exactly. And with all those, the hats,
Yes, that is.
all of which is fine for the realtor, it's incredibly unhealthy and dangerous for the actual person who, incidentally, I came to think of as a dear, close friend.
Yes.
And I guess I want my friend back.
After the break, we'll hear about the bed and breakfast the pair dreamt of opening together in Ojai, California. It's 10 after the hour.